6 gunshot in a dark parking lot over a soccer game. Someone stole the World Cup itself. Someone was murdered because of it. And the most powerful men in the entire sport were marched out of a 5-star hotel at dawn. The World Cup is the most watched event on Earth. Billions of eyes, billions of dollars, and in its shadow, a priceless golden trophy that simply vanished. A national hero shot dead over one touch of a ball. A global empire cracked open by a single hidden microphone. 3 infamous crimes, and every single one of them was solved. This is how. It begins in the spring of 1966, England, just weeks before the country hosts the World Cup for the first time. And the star of the show isn't a player, it's a trophy, the Jules Rimet Cup. Solid gold, shaped like the goddess of victory holding the world above her head. Priceless. And on March 20th, it sits behind glass at a public exhibition in Westminster, guarded by 6 security men. While a church service hums in the hall below, someone slips upstairs. They snap a padlock, pry open the cabinet, and in broad daylight, the most famous trophy on Earth walks straight out the door. Gone. How do you make the World Cup vanish from a guarded room and disappear into a city of 8 million people? Scotland Yard had almost nothing. And then, the phone rang. A package arrived for the head of the Football Association, Joe Mears. Inside was a broken piece of the trophy and a ransom note, £15,000, signed with one name. Jackson. So the police set a trap. A briefcase of fake cash, a meeting in a London park. And when Jackson arrived, he sensed he was being watched, leaped from the car, and ran. They caught him anyway. Edward Betchley, a petty crook, a used car dealer. But Betchley swore he was only the middleman, and the trophy was still missing. And then, it was found, not by a detective, by a dog. A week later, a man named David Corbett took his little black and white dog for a walk in South London. The dog's name was Pickles. Under a garden hedge, Pickles clawed at a lump wrapped in newspaper. Corbett tore it open and stared at solid gold. Pickles had found the World Cup. Betchley went to prison. But here is the twist that took 52 years to surface. He was never the real thief. Not until 2018 did an investigation finally name the man who pulled it off. A London gangster called Sidney Kugulere. His reason for stealing the most precious prize in sport? According to his own family, he did it just for the thrill. A thief chasing a thrill is one thing. But our next case is about men who stole billions and called it business. May 27th, 2015, Zurich, Switzerland, 6 in the morning. At the Bor au Lac, a 5-star palace on the lake, the kings of world soccer are asleep. They have flown in to elect the next president of FIFA, the body that controls the entire sport. They believe they are untouchable. Then the police arrive. Officials are pulled from their suites and led out behind bedsheets to hide their faces. 7 men arrested that morning, 14 indicted. And the nation leading the takedown was not even a soccer country. It was the United States. The charge? A conspiracy worth more than $150 million in bribes, spanning 24 years. Selling the rights to broadcast the game, selling their votes on who got to host the World Cup itself. 2 generations of the men trusted with the world's favorite sport had been looting it. But how do you get inside the most secretive club in global sports? You need a man on the inside, and the FBI had one. His name was Chuck Blazer, the highest-ranking American in all of FIFA. A giant of a man who lived like an emperor, renting apartments inside Trump Tower, including one, reportedly, just for his cats. And $11 million in income, on which he had never paid a cent of tax. That was his fatal mistake. In 2011, federal agents cornered him. Cooperate or go to prison. Blazer flipped. And then came the detail that sounds like fiction. Agents handed him a keychain with a tiny microphone hidden inside. At the 2012 Olympics in London, Blazer set that keychain on the table of his hotel suite and let the most powerful men in soccer incriminate themselves, one quiet conversation at a time. Those recordings blew the scheme apart. Arrests spread across the globe, and within days, FIFA's president, Sepp Blatter, announced he was stepping down. An empire that ruled the world's biggest sport, brought down by one man and a wired keychain. Money, gold, power. But our final case is about none of those things. It is about a single human life, taken for one mistake. The 1994 World Cup, hosted by the United States. Colombia arrives with one of the most dazzling teams on the planet, tipped by many to win it all. And at the heart of their defense stands a man his whole nation adores. Andrés Escobar. Calm, graceful, so respectful they called him the gentleman of football. June 22nd, Los Angeles, Colombia against the host nation, the USA. A cross slices into the box. Escobar stretches to clear it, and the ball glances off his foot and rolls past his own goalkeeper. An own goal. Colombia loses. And the team that was supposed to conquer the world is knocked out in the first round. It was a mistake. A heartbreaking, accidental mistake. So how does a single error in a soccer match end with a man in a coffin? Because back home in Medellin, this was no ordinary defeat. The most powerful drug cartels in Colombia had bet fortunes on their national team. And they had lost everything. Someone, in their eyes, had to pay. July 2nd. Just 10 days after the own goal, Escobar is home, out at a nightclub. A group begins taunting him. He does not run. He defends himself calmly. And out in the parking lot, a man named Humberto Muñoz Castro, the driver for two notorious drug traffickers, pulls a .38 caliber pistol. He fires 6 times. According to witnesses, he screams the word "goal" with every single shot. Andrés Escobar dies that night. He was just 27 years old. The killers believed they were untouchable. They reported their vehicles stolen, building a clean alibi. But one witness had memorized the car. Within hours, police traced it straight back to them. Muñoz Castro confessed. He was sentenced to 43 years, though he would walk free after only 11. And for decades, one question lingered: who truly gave the order? Then, in February of 2026, the man long suspected of being the real power behind that night, a drug lord named Santiago Galón, was hunted down and shot dead inside a restaurant in Mexico. Colombia's own president publicly named him as the man responsible for Escobar's murder. The violence that took the gentleman had finally come back around for him. A dog beneath a hedge, a keychain on a table, a single witness who remembered a car. The World Cup creates heroes like nothing else on earth, but it also buries dark secrets in its shadow. The difference with these three is that not one of them stayed buried. The gold came back, the empire fell, and the truth, no matter how long it was hidden, always claws its way back into the light.